I don't even know where to start with this last week. Just not a week that you'd like to have. Even with the win, it still felt like a loss, to be honest with you. And I don't know what you could and couldn't chalk it up to, but just ultimately there were just so many injuries, bad play. It just was just a nightmare weekend, honestly. Bill, let's go ahead and get your thoughts on the week overall, and then we'll dive into the nitty-gritty.
All right, I'm going to start out the game against the Winnipeg Jets. Okay, we lose that game 4-0. Seriously? 4-0. No goals. We look flat as a pancake. And then we go to Buffalo and we win 6-3. So I'm thinking, okay, great. We got the momentum going into Boston. Nope. I'll tell you what, that Boston team is scary. That Boston team is ridiculously scary. That offense, and then they're smothering of McKinnon. I mean, McKinnon could do anything and everything he wants to normally. They smothered him like a wet blanket.
Yeah.
And that game, I'm telling you what, if it comes down to Stanley Cup between Boston and Colorado, that's going, I don't know. I don't even want to talk about it.
That's if they only have to shut Mac's line down. I mean, they pretty much had to cover Mac, and there was nothing else to it. I mean,
exactly.
Hey, guys, Olmark's got it, and we'll just get Mac over here.
No, and I understand that we have a lot of injuries, and that's not an excuse because every team has injuries, but we have key injuries. I mean, ridiculously key injuries.
Like, I'm so exasperated with it all. I think that it's like, I guess maybe like context to the way we're playing, maybe more so than excuse, but it's just at this point, it's just like, and I'm one of those people that I can't stand, like, don't go on about the refs, don't go on about every call, don't go on about every injury, but at what point do you just tap out, you know?
Right. Now, was that fight in early on in the Boston game, and there was a lot of hard hits in the game, but that fight, do you think that was a frustration fight? Because it looked to me like it was a frustration fight, like a spark, like let's get this team going, and just never materialized.
I would hope so. I don't know if it was good frustration or bad frustration. I mean, I don't know. And then Jacob McDonald, like, why would you go pick him to fight? Like, what are you doing?
Well, they say he was filling in for Manson
and McDermott.
Doing what Manson and McDermott would do. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
Everybody's got their opinions on like McDermott and his role and blah blah blah. But like, this is the game that you want McDermott. Like, it's very. We felt vulnerable from puck drop, and I mean, when you consider it, just really wasn't that bad of a game, particularly if you eliminate the 8 seconds with 2 goals. It just wasn't that bad. And like these penalties, we're getting all these penalties, and that's chalked up to AHL players that can't handle keeping up. We're getting hooking, we're getting slashing, we're getting stupid stuff because these AHL guys, you know, they're not capable of playing at an NHL level, and that's glaringly obvious by our penalties. Especially like a penalty shot is just basically the epitome of can't keep up, can't lost you and can't keep up. So I don't know. It's hard. I mean, we're on a podcast and we're talking here, but it is kind of to the point where it's like, what do you say? You know? And I don't know if you guys saw the news, but there was just a tweet that there are trade rumors, trade connection between the Canucks and the Colorado Avalanche. So,
oh boy,
about to double our bonus.
Oh boy.
So we'll see, but they'll probably say this like, I don't know.
I'm gonna throw out a question. I'm gonna throw out a question to you guys, both of you, really quick. The 4-0 loss or the 5-1 loss, which one was worse?
The 4-0 loss.
I would say Winnipeg's.
That game looked sleepy and lazy, and Boston felt. I can't even think of the word. Like they look demoralized, like in a way that you can't control. You know what I mean? Beyond a sleepy, and I posted that thing on Cluster Park Podcast, which I'm sure you guys saw on our socials yesterday. About, you know, what do you think about scheduled losses? And I did have somebody comment, and they kind of elaborated more where my mindset was. And when I say scheduled loss, I generally mean from like a media and a fan standpoint. I don't think McKinnon like literally probably races old ladies like in shopping cart. He's not scheduling a loss, but there is that aspect that sometimes they might get to the point where it's just like, damn, dude, like, and especially when you're playing. I want to believe that we're building our endurance, but Cale Makar, shockingly, I know that many of us do not know this, but he is human, and he can't play 32 minutes a night we have 13 games in December. We are, and then we get to do it again Friday, Boston again. So I think the Winnipeg loss pissed me off. The Boston loss was like, what are you going to do? They're the best team in the NHL right now. Their goalie's hot. They're douchers. I mean, they pushed us around. Greer, I would love to meet him in a dark alley. And my God, I wish Pat McDermott would be back. And I don't know, like, if he's got like beef because we didn't, because he's not one of us. But like, I don't know.
How do you really feel, Britt? How do you really feel?
Well, and you bring up a good point. Actually, is given kind of where we are in the schedule versus where all of our injured players are, you're kind of, you're happy that it's out of the way now, but it's just really frustrating because you're not playing these high-end teams like a Boston or even the Winnipeg now, that you have your full and complete team and there. And it's that's
the way they celebrate, and it's like,
I know
you truly cannot be stupid enough to think that you just beat the Stanley Cup champions.
Yeah,
right?
but that's the thing though. It's all with the name and not the squad, So even though they'll see like, oh, we're playing the Avalanche, every team's going to put their best game forward regardless. But it does go ahead and pose the question though, like, if we had that fully healthy team, if Landeskog never had to go under the knife,
their ass.
If Nichushkin, even if McDermott and all that stuff,
I think we are
swear jar.
Sorry, I know I'm worse.
It's all good. It's all good.
No, you're fine. So it's just the
5280 podcast thing.
Yeah, the positive to come out of this is that we're missing half of our top six. We have our top six. We lost Lehkonen
I think we're missing like half the entire team.
Right.
That's why I'm wearing the Grizzlies jersey, is to see if I could get somehow called up into the Avalanche.
Oh, I know.
One of the games, because they're dipping so far down into the gene pool.
But it's I don't like to be a Debbie Downer, especially about my team. Like, I'm not one of those people that goes straight to like, trade Gerard and trade, Comfort, get rid of them all. Georgie sucks. That was weak. He would have had that one back, as they like to say. And it's, I think the biggest positive, because I am like just kind of sad. This is such a buzzkill when it's something so far out of their control. And then the people who say, we need better trainers. Okay, well, trainers actually don't train them to not get hit in the foot where it breaks.
Or in the nose, like that.
Train people to not get body slammed. We're not pulling muscles. I mean, maybe Rodriguez could be considered, but it was so fluky. I've watched it like a million times, and I wish I knew how hard JT Miller hit his knee. And that's the only fluky one. But like, if you truly expect a team to not have like a pulled muscle or tendon at some point, then you don't have very realistic expectations. But I see the positivity in that when these guys are back and rested AF, we should essentially be unstoppable. We should not be winning as much as we're winning right now. We should absolutely not. And it's bewildering to look at how down this feels, but really we're hanging above 500, and that's what we said. We just got to stay 500 out. We're dropping the flag, and we're still hanging above 500.
And that's all due to the coaching. I mean, the coaching of this team.
Tampa mentality, get in the playoffs.
Yeah, the coaching of this team is instilling in these players that they can do above and beyond what they're actually been able and capable of doing. And I think that's only going to be beneficial down the road, because as long as we can stay above 500, get these players back. My concern is this: when we get the players back, are we going to be in the top 5 of our division in order to have a good seeding in the playoffs. That's what
that's
scares me.
it.
We're not having Landeskog back on that. Yeah, we're not having Landeskog back till February.
Mm-hmm.
And it would be nice to not go in having to face the number one team with us.
Exactly.
I mean, we're essentially going to be putting a whole new team together again.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're going to have to figure out lines. Granted, we'll have more familiarity, but when you consider who might not be back, there's going to be several people that are going to have to learn to play with this team all over again. I mean, we are literally looking at Martin Kaut being a second liner going into the playoffs. It's just, it's so disheartening. And you got to feel for the guys because they got to be tired. You know, they just won the cup like 9 minutes ago, and now it's like
9 minutes.
it's crazy though. And we have very intense people, but God, I mean, how much can you ask of them? And that's why they're professional athletes, and I sit here with my fruit snacks and and do podcasts.